Good morning. Good morning, Thierry.
Good morning, Marco.
Welcome to this Innovation for the Future Crowd Circle. I think it's the third from this series, this new series. My proposal is for us to go for a check-in, and from the check-in, maybe we can find what we can speak or do together today. What do you think and feel about this?
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, I start. I have this sadness inside me. Yeah, today is the day that my children's go with the mother, and I'm noticing that sadness, that this goodbye thing. We change every week, and it's always I always have to cry the goodbyes, to say goodbye to them, and I'm noticing that sadness in me. I was preparing them to school, and yeah, this kind of stuff. Yeah, also I also start feeling a fear. My body, my system is very liquid. It's been with sickness, also this physical liquidity, but also in emotional, intellectual, and some energetic liquidity, because I'm preparing myself to do training in the beginning of December, and I'm already starting to feel that fear in my system, that fear that is preparing me to do this work and to connect with people and to connect with the social field. And yeah, this is very alive in my system in the moment. And also I can perceive a joy, because today I will be with my partner, and we have been apart from several weeks, and now we will get together and stay the weekend together, and that brings me this possibility, brings me joy, and really nurture my system. Yeah. And I'm feeling angry because there is some logistic in between, some logistic stuff, and I also am very connected with this thing that the new generation, the kids between 15, 16, 18, around this, are putting on the table. This young generation is saying, why to go to school? We have a big mess to clean up. Why to go to school? Why you guys that are adults are not cleaning this mess? We have more 10 years. And this is happening all in Portugal. Some schools was closed. Some kids manifest themselves. And my anger is really with them. I'm also pissed off with they are saying very important things. They are bringing a very important message to the table, and I'm feel angry about that. I was in Planeteers, and one of the things that really pissed me off in the Planeteers was that the people from my age and 40, around this 40 and 50, they came to the tables and to the stage and said stuff that has the urgency of 9 and 10. It's very urgent. But the action that they talk about and the action that they are doing, it's 1 or 2 urgency. And there is this gap, this huge gap between what I speak and what I'm doing. And these young people with 15, 16, 17 years old, they are saying that. They are noticing that, and they are saying that. And that really triggers my anger. Yeah. And that's me arriving to this circle today. Thank you. How do you arrive,
you.
Thierry?
Now I arrive. It's interesting to listen to your sharing. I feel still kind of a duality, which somehow I think I have to grow out. One is to just be silent and just be in this empty space. And like last night, I had a really good meditation and everything. And at the same time, I noticed this kind of tension when I just like you share, see stuff falling apart, see the kind of urgency, like also anticipation of because I see a few months or years ahead, and it's difficult to do anything before the stuff has been fallen apart, and that's kind of my inner struggle. And then you get excited, as I wrote some suggestions to you in the email, and I can see, it's not ripe yet, but you just have to wait for this compared to the fruit to be ripe. And if you eat it before, it's just not good. And in practical sense, with this kind of worldly things, then I don't get any partners. I just stand here and I can inspire whatever I want, but nothing will happen. So that's me today.
Thank you, Thierry. Yeah, maybe you can speak a little bit about the email that you sent me for staying record and for people to also hear about. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is alive in you? What is coming? What is emerging in you after our circles and after the path you have been done, like you said about being in silence and at the same time reflecting on action and doing action. Can you bring that to the table?
Yes, that's good that you asked that. Basically, I think that's the most important thing also for doing this. Like 2 years ago, in 2020, I started getting inspiration for a project. Then later on, you learn more about like the whole big transition that we're in. And last year, I was really happy to meet with you and Paula and see like a big circle that you're not alone. I could also see, what you shared, kind of a struggle also with some of the areas like the finances. And then I connected also with some Dutch people. I think they're like in total they're about 200,000 in no less. I think 100,000 Dutch people, and immediately I noticed there was kind of a different quality in it. You talk to people who talk about big numbers in money. One time I went to a hotel close to Tavira with the Margaret lady from the Dutch community. She was considering starting health, like a holistic health center. And, they were just talking about buying a hotel for 4 million euros. And it's it's interesting. It's a different world. And that's where the money is. And at the same time, I could see that their heart is also in what we are talking about. And they have to make a living, so they still stay in that old world, so to speak. So I got really excited. We tried to get something happening, but I could see, there was this kind of struggle. I like to do it, but we cannot get the partners together, and I have to pay my bills. So then other projects will be done in the meantime. But it does give me the trust that you know, when the time is right, we get the right people around the table, and then everything we need will be there. And somehow, basically, my journey is just stay in touch with them and not push anybody, because then, you know, if you push people, either I'm getting angry or they get angry, and then it doesn't happen anyway. And what I do notice, you know, I was invited to write an article for the Portugal news, and I have just been sitting with it, and somehow the inspiration didn't come. So I decided to postpone it. And then afterwards, this year, I learned much more about the economic situation. And I started to understand that in the current situation, it's just too early to start with any kind of large-scale local currency project, because, you know, the time is not there. And again, you know, it's being prepared for the worst, and you can only start in action when things happen, which I think will be like next year. You will already see things crumbling, and might be 2024 that it seriously starts collapsing.
Thierry, let me see if I understand, if it landed in me what you said. You are talking about you'd like to design a local currency project in a place, and you have been connected with these people that came to Portugal and are investing in Portugal to try with them, and in some way that didn't work. It's this.
And, to clarify it, what I learned for the local currency, if you want to make a real difference in society, it needs to be on a large scale. And it can be that from my side, since I'm connected, you know, I'm Dutch, and I came here as a tourist, basically, that from that side, we can build part of kind of a new financial ecosystem. Let's put it like that. And it's only part of the whole picture.
And what you need, what you need for going forward with that idea? What do you need to be on the table for you to go forward with that idea?
I think what's happening now in me is connecting with the world from this kind of silence, and really clarify what exactly are the next steps. Because the thing is with, you know, if you talk about local currency, it's another way of using money with different rules. And so basically you can do anything with it, just like with the normal euros. So then it becomes important, okay, why, where, and how do you use it?
Okay, let me, it pop up some projects in the Innovations for the Future, and with people in the Innovations of the Future that maybe will be interesting for you to know, or maybe you already know. One of them, it's Paulo Carvalho in Value Flow. Paulo, it's working with the seeds community, with this global project around the seeds project. It's a coin, a platform to engage local coins, local currency coins. And there is a community that is growing in all over the world. One of the persons that is involved, it's that economist that designed the donuts economic model. You know this model? Yeah. She's involved in Costa Rica in seeds project, and you have a huge community here. Paul is the one that is representing Portugal in that community. You have other people all around the country that are involved with that, with the seeds project. And near you, you have Mateo. Mateo is also involved in the seeds community. He's in Algiers. That is one of the things that came to the table. Then another thing was this foundation, the Coin Foundation. And Coin Foundation is this organization that designs local concurrency projects all over the world, and they are in Portugal. Sergio and Edgar,
I talked to them. Yeah.
Okay, that is another thing. There is also Flip Alves. Flip Alves is the co-founder of Bioville and so many projects. Flip is an economist and a research in climate change in University of Lisbon, and he's closing his PhD in local concurrencies.
I talked also to him.
Okay, he's doing that work. Also, another guy that came from university is Jé Pinto. Jé Pinto is starting a PhD also in local concurrencies, and I already sent to Jé your contact, say, Thierry is also interesting, he's experimenting and is connecting with people around that. Jé is very interested in how can local concurrencies be an instrument for transition, for changing the culture, and he's very interested in that. And I already sent him your contact. Yeah, that it's what pop up around in the innovations for the future thing. Paulo is designing with this mindset. Paulo is designing a land trust fund that wants to build a completely different model for people to regenerate land and to really bring people to regenerate land. And is doing that with this perspective of digital concurrencies, blockchain, this kind of stuff is putting on the table. Is designing from a completely different perspective, and is connecting it's non-linear. He's putting artists and people, practitioners and landowners all together and doing stuff together, and it's very non-linear. And he has a way, like GoParity has a way of collecting money that doesn't come from institutional investors, but from all of us, from the commons, like GoParity does. And the model is very interesting, very, very interesting, as a way of going forward with this kind of mindset and local empowerment. It's really interesting, the model. There is also a community. There is very, let me check the name, that is very alive in Portugal, and it's the guys from Tradition Dream Factory that you have been last year with them in the Rebuild in Santiago de Cacém.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, the Sam and Annie, all that guys, they created a group for this for connecting people that are working in the innovation of money funding. It's called Refi Portugal. I don't know if you are in this group of people.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, Refi Portugal, it's about, I don't know, maybe 200 or 300 people are already in the group. It's people that are living in Portugal, some abroad, and they are really working in this. How can we shift maps in this money thing, and in this using of the tokens for really empower the communities? And the guys in traditional democracy are very interesting in that. They need money, they need to invest for doing the project there. You know the land, and it's a huge thing to they need so much money, and they are working in that context. They are doing an interesting work around that. I think that this is the cases that I know. There is also a small project in Camp Lead, Lisboa. They are experimenting with local coins around waste management. It's a very small thing. I don't know the status of that. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that pop up, and I ask you if what is the kind of call when I read your email, I stay with the sensation that you'd like to do like a call to the community, a call to the innovations for the future people and all friends and connection to write something, I don't know, like a manifesto or a call for action or something around that. Can you say more about that? And if that is connected with the local concurrency project?
What I've seen before is that if you get like a diverse group together, you can create much more co-creation opportunities. And then basically you talk about non-linear. You get kind of a connection and a jump forward that nobody can look into the future, but then you get the things that you'll need. And probably just like you have many talents, I have many talents. It can also turn out that at the moment I have to focus on other part. But what did inspire me to share it with you was the fact that you said, if people doing beautiful projects, but yeah, they're struggling with money, sometimes with a team that's not big enough, and somehow I think we have to get the people who are feeling and seeing, okay, this is where we're going, so we have to prepare and for different times, get them together.
The kind of call that you are talking about, it's a call for this local concurrency thing, or do you think that it's a more general call?
It's much more general, yeah.
Like the regenerative finance or something around that?
Now, basically, what I see is that you talked about kids in school that didn't feel happy anymore in school because it was not relevant for their life. My sense is that all around society, like in business, in ecology, in farming, in schools, everywhere you see these kind of changes happening. And if you bring these together, and find out together, okay, what are the important issues right now, I think we can create miracles together. And we will need some miracles. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yes. In a way, I'm noticing. In a way, that is the wheel for this circle. That is the wheel for this circle. Yeah. For
exactly.
bring us together, the people that are in innovation, for meet each other, for seeing what is happening in that place and this place and all over, and sensing together what is there, and in a way finding co-creations for going out, for going non-linear, for in a way. It's that.
Yeah, you know, to give you an example, some time ago I saw a message on Facebook in a Dutch group, and there was one lady, her father just died. He had a quinta near Lagos, and she was asking, okay, are there any kind of volunteer project, because I have time, I want to meet people. The people with time, with enough money on the bank to live, and they're willing to help. And so that's the kind of world I'm now also in. The people who just go for a social coffee a morning or a walk because they want to fill their life a little bit. And not all of them will be interested in projects like we are talking, but there are definitely people who think, you know, if they see the opportunity, they think, oh, this is much nicer than just having a coffee or just going for some sightseeing.
Yeah.
And I don't have to judge anybody, but it's just also a way to what I'm looking at is opening up the space to this larger community.
You spoke also in the email. Can I publish the email in this recording? Yeah, thank you, Thierry. You also write in the email that we need to write something. We need to write something together in a co-creation mode for reaching to people. Can you say more about that?
It was an invitation. It's not we need to do it, but my feeling is that it's good to see your reflection. And what I learned before, it just has to land somewhere, so it has to resonate. And it can be that I do it, but you know, you're Portuguese, you know much more about the local situation. I mean, you're talking now about the children in school who starting to rebel. Probably you know more also about the people in Lisbon and elsewhere who are just running out of money and things like that. So I think it's important, if you write some kind of article, that it also tells people about what is needed now, what you feel that is needed now. And it doesn't have to be all over the place. I mean, if you feel, okay, the ecology part is for you the most important, then okay, that's where you start. And I'm just, in a way, I'm just an outsider, and I'm sitting like an eagle on my rock, looking at the world.
There is no such thing as an outsider. You live here.
No, I agree, but I just exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah, you live here. You live in Algiers. You have your feet.
But I don't see the Portuguese news. I don't see the Portuguese newspapers. So in that sense, I'm missing a big part of it. And it can also turn. You know what I saw here in 2020, the foreigners started to protest in the middle of the lockdowns, and then local Portuguese said, okay, this is just arrogant.
Yes, and you represent the community that didn't born in Portugal and are living in Portugal. Like this circle between us, we have this in common. We have this in common. We are representing, both of us are representing a lot of people in this circle, like the ones that born in Portugal, the ones that didn't born. I was born in Madeira and I live in Lisbon. That also happens inside Portugal. Like we are in different places where we born. And yeah, this is here. This is on the table. Yeah, what I'm perceiving, it's that there is this this big call, like let's come together, let's start talking about what is happening. Let's start let's start connecting these two dimensions of urgency, the ones that we are speaking and the ones that we are doing. Let's do this movement of bringing action and speaking in a together. I'm sensing that as an invitation that you are doing to the field. Let's do that. Let's start engaging in these conversations and see what can we do. What can we really do for this thing to come alive? That is the call that I'm perceiving. One of the calls that I'm perceiving. Another one that is like a subset or one of the topics of this big call. It's about money. How can we fund? How can we really design something different to fund our projects, to fund and to help these game world builders that are challenging the edge of the culture to go forward? And yeah, that if this is the big call, like this is a small call in the bigger one. And also connected with that, there is a third call that is around your passion, around you are passionate about the local coins and the local currencies and the local economies. How can we drive that? How can we help the local economies really go forward and be more resilient and create well-being and for the people that live there, with these whole things that are happening around us?
Yeah. Can I reflect on that?
Yeah, go.
What I like, I think last week you were just said, okay, you were a bit worried about okay, there will be money coming in from the European Union or other situations, and things like greenwashing, where the money could end up. A couple of weeks ago, I talked to the Margaret, chair lady of the Dutch community, and I already got a little support for to help ReFood, this organization that gets food from the supermarket. But then she told me, we have like 15,000 euros on the bank, and we for kind of charities, we don't know what to do with it. And just expanding that story on this greenwashing, I think if you look in companies, nobody wants to waste money, and I think somehow if we can also write the invitation and invite these kind of partners in the circle, that can help a lot. Everybody sits in his own little cave and just makes up the world. And if you work in a big company, I mean, I've worked for 10 years in the banking industry. You see, you start creating your own worldview altogether. But there are many people in these organizations who know that somehow what they're trying to do doesn't make any sense. So they are also looking at change. I know, for instance, with the ULab, when I was doing that in the Netherlands, there were people from big energy corporations, from the water management system, from different companies just joining. There are also people who think it doesn't really make sense what we're doing in this big office. So that's also the kind of connections I'm dreaming of.
Yeah, I was some ideas really pop up in my head during our conversation. It's like maybe some of the communities, like the people in the Myrtle Lab, they are doing amazing work with the local food network, and maybe they are ready for going forward with a project like a local coin. You know, maybe the people in São Luís also, that they build this integral cooperative. They are coming together. Maybe they are ready to do that, as being the one of the orange point of this kind of project. I don't know. I think that could be some places in Portugal that could be ready for this kind of stuff to happen. And I have this question: why is not happening? Why is not happening? Because there is so many people studying, like I said, Flip and Coin and all these people. Why is not happening? I'm sitting with that question right now. Why is not happening? And in a way, I'm feeling this calling these people that I talk about to a circle, and to see what maybe you can do a circle together, a 1 hour circle together, and have more clarity about what is happening in Portugal around local coins, what is going forward, and why is not going faster, or what is the obstacles in the way that are limiting this kind of instrument to be really alive. Yeah, Gil Peña-Lopes, in I don't know, maybe 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, I don't know, around that, he supported the movement. He bring together a lot of people, 2 or 3 dozens people in Biovilla, to talk about money for regeneration. What is the regeneration of the finance and the investment? To talk about these issues and talk about the thing. I don't know what happened to that circle. I think they met 1 or twice or 3 times. I don't know, and it was with people that are very interesting, and that are really eager to change something in that context in Portugal. People connected with ethical banking, with this commons finance like cooperative, that are connected also with the impact funds, this kind of stuff. Yeah, there is, I don't know, this. The next I already recorded the next Game World Bidder interview will be with Joana Ivonia. Joana is an activist for the mobility with bikes in Aveiro, and they are doing an amazing work there for the last almost 10 years. And they talk in the recording, in the interview, she talk about how working with the bike and the activism with the bike and the mobility really changed the economy, the local economy, and the people and the business. And she talk a lot about that. Like, you start with the bike, but when you notice, you are talking about waste management, local businesses, local economy, getting people together, building community. It really starts touching in all over the fields of the city and the place. And she talked a lot about that, and I was very curious to see what will unfold. And she also talk about this bringing people together and the movement for doing something, like with the people in this bike mobility. Yeah, there is something that is blocking. I don't know how to explain. Like these movements of bringing people together in a way happens, like it happens in with Gilles in the money, like the traditional Dream Factories guy are doing that with Refi, Portugal. The Joanna did that with the people around the bike mobility. The guys from Montmort, the Minga, did that with the integral cooperatives movement. Yeah, people are coming together, like working and talking about these issues, but something is in the way. Something is not shifting.
Can I say what I feel?
Go.
I was reflecting on what to write in this article, and what I know from transition management is that there is a phase where there's kind of a very strong resistance, like the old structures start to crumble. You could compare it to like if you boil milk, it's kind of you put the gas on, and it starts getting warm, and you put your finger in it, and then somebody calls you, you forget about the milk, and then all of a sudden it boils over. And my feeling is that we are in this stage that it's still the milk and it didn't cook yet, and then of course you can just do experiments, and it's beautiful that people do that. You can look at the research, but I know one of the people who worked with Bernard Littard. He's one of the kind of researchers, and he was the expert on the whole thing. He died a few years ago. These people, they could research everything, but they also couldn't create it. Why? Because the world situation was not there yet. And what the banks have done, especially the last 10 years, but before also, just keep printing money. So the whole situation that we will be probably in a few years' time is just not there yet.
Yeah, but okay. I think we can do something with this conversation. We can do something like let's make this call to this community. Say, guys, we need to come together and start talking about what is really happening. Like going in layers, in what is really happening in layers all over the country. Let's start talking about our place, the place that we have our feet. And I can share a document. I can put a link and share a document. I put in the Innovations for the Future share folder for all of us to have access, and we can start writing something. Yeah, you can start and I can start. I go with you, and we start doing. You write in English, I write in Portuguese to bring people together in that sense. And let's see what happens. And I also will challenge some of the people that I talk about here to listen this recording and to see if what comes alive in them. What can we do? How can we go forward? Like not only in reading, but yes, coming to the conversations, engaging in this conversation, and really see if it's possible to do something in the local coin, something in the finance, something around the movement. And I also stay
like my suggestion was like would like a first step, just ask people and have a conversation about where are we now. you know, did the milk already boil over, or is it are we still waiting for something to happen?
I'm with this thing. I'm with this thing. Like I'm feeling the anger and the fear inside me, with this thing of what is not happening. Like people are coming together. The movement already started. Like the examples that I referred here. What is not happening? Why we are so fragmented and alone? What is really blocking us for going forward? Yeah.
Yeah, and the question also is, okay, I feel the same, but do other people also feel that? Or I don't know, do they have a kind of a different experience altogether?
Yeah, I will spread this conversation, this dialogue to very particular people and see what happens. See if they are interested in coming to the next circle or recording a video or starting writing something. I don't know. Let's see what comes. It was. I also in the conversation I remembered in the last Wednesday in the resourcing session. It was with Diogo from Admira, from Clara Lab Admira, and Diogo brought a project that is Forum for the Territory, Forum do Território, that the municipality is supporting for bringing people together and start engaging in a conversation, in a different conversation. What you want for the future? How can we live better together? And Diogo brought that in the resourcing session. And it was a very interesting conversation around that. And we pinpointed some stuff like it's a bottom-up thing, but it's started from the top down. What is here that is blocking something? It's a thing that was connected with administrative stuff like municipality and juntas de freguesia, and how it was if we change that to village and association in village, and what happened if you do that shift and shift from the administrative stuff for the landscape stuff, for the bioregion stuff. It was a very interesting conversation. Like maybe we need to engage more of these forums, more of these things all over the territory for bringing people together and really start completely different conversations. Like listen to what this young generation is saying. You need to do something now. You need to stop talking and do something. Maybe that is the thing that is on the table. I don't know. Let's continue to reflect, and I will challenge these people to see what it will happen until next Friday. My proposal is for us to go to checkout.
Yeah, there was one thing that I would like to share. Just I don't know, could also be checkout, but when I listened to your story, the first idea that came up, we can talk about it the next week, with this kind of challenging people, inviting people. What if we could get a larger group of us together in the beginning of the new year and just really see this kind of, okay, where are we now and what needs to happen? What do we see for 2023?
That's your checkout.
Yeah, that can be the checkout. Right.
Okay.
I can sit with that one.
Yes, that is for sure a proposal, a different proposal. You know, I'm listening to myself and inside me, and I have a yes for that proposal. I have a yes for us to come together in 1 day or 2 days in the beginning of the year and really engage in completely different conversations and see what happens. You know, as my checkout, I'm noticing inside me that I have more energy, I'm more alive right now than when I came in. And that energy is coming from these perplexities, like I feel the fear of not knowing what is happening, why is the thing is blocking, and the anger of this yelling of the younger generation, say we need to do something. And I also connect that with the 8 billion of us that we, this landmark that we score this last week. And it's bring me sadness and angry that I can imagine what is to be in the designer side, need to design for this huge world population. What is the kind of measures that we will put on the table? We will limit the people to have children all over. What we will do? That is really challenging me. And, I'm with fear and anger about that. And I'm noticed that kind of this aliveness that I have in me comes from these questions of not knowing, of noticing the problems and the sharings and the fighting of the people in several places, and noticing that something it's on behind that is not helping to move. Maybe it's the way of our thoughts, of our thought maps, I don't know, but something it's in the way of going forward. And these questions are, for me, it's a very important questions that we brought here on the light. And thank you, Thierry, for bringing that email, and with that email, open this conversation, and really, I really enjoyed the navigation we did and the questions that pop up. And I also stay, wow, this is cool. Like, we have this representation on the table, the people that born here, but in a way also change place, and the people that born abroad, but are living here that you are representing. And for me, that is a very important thing, that these two movements, these two game worlds builders that are working in this territory, real coming together for something completely different. And I appreciate that. That brings me joy to notice that we have already that in the circle. That is, it's very alive here. And to change this mindset, that I have my feet here, I have to do something here, or that, it's my responsibility. And I really enjoy that. I am with that energy. It's me coming out. Thank you, Thierry. I will close the recording right now.